Hello, this is Ling Hương from Hanoi and welcome to this live edition of VTV News. Here come our top stories. Delegates to the 12th National Party Congress cast their votes on members of the party's Central Committee in Hanoi this morning. Mekong Delta adopts international standards for rice production. And following the severe weather that has gripped the northern provinces of Lao Cai and Lạng Sơn, snow has now blanketed Yên Bái and Hòa Bình for the very first time. Delegates to the 12th National Party Congress cast their votes on members of the 12th Party Central Committee in Hanoi this morning. The event was chaired by Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng. Earlier yesterday, the Congress approved the list of 220 candidates for the Party's Central Committee members and 26 candidates for the alternate Party Central Committee. After that, the Congress approved 29 candidates being removed from the list voluntarily. Therefore, the 12th National Party Central Committee will have 200 members, including 180 permanent and 20 alternate members. In the afternoon, the President is scheduled to deliver a report responding to delegates' opinions on documents of the 12th National Party Congress. Delegates will vote on several issues within the documents if necessary. So the election of the 12th Party Central Committee is being held today. Delegates showed their expectations for personnel selection of the 12th National Party Congress. Let's take a listen.
Most of delegates expressed their support for the criteria for the 12 Party Central Committee members set out by the 11th Party Congress. The delegates agreed that the elected comrades must have enough good morality, strategic vision, and leadership capacity.
The 11th Party Central Committee has done a good job in terms of preparations. I believe that the Congress will vote for good candidates so that our country continues to innovate and develop in the coming years. As the preparations were good, I'll show my support through my vote.
Besides criteria such as gender, age, and educational level, many delegates said that members of the 12th National Party Congress must also have admirable personal characteristics. The votes for candidates will be based on these criteria.
I think that the criteria which promote innovative and decisive leadership qualities as outlined are important. They are essential for a leader in making decisions. Without such criteria, it will be difficult to do anything.
I will consider carefully and vote for the right people with enough talent and capacity to join in the Party Central Committee.
The delegates have said that the elected members of the Party Central Committee must be pioneers and have the talent to develop policies.
I hope that the Congress will select new and talented members of the Central Committee that are capable of leading the country.
Delegates have expressed their happiness at the preparation for the elections that will be held at the 12th National Party Congress. They believe that the Congress will select an innovative and dynamic new Central Committee.
In other news, despite economic difficulties, the Ministry of Finance successfully raised capital through government bonds, contributing to meet the target of the budget for 2015. This result was partly due to a resolution approved by the National Assembly, which allowed 3-year maturity bonds to be issued. More to follow.
As investors were not keen on 5-year maturities, only 60% of 5-year bonds up for sale had gone by the beginning of November 2015. The new National Assembly resolution, which allows a 3-year maturity period, was approved and over $4 billion was raised in December 2015.
Most of the capital is medium and short term. Therefore, to minimize risk, we always prioritize investments in the short and medium term.
Over $11.4 billion was raised through bonds issuance last year, meeting the target set by the National Assembly. With a budget deficit of up to 5% of GDP, the funds helped the budget.
74% of the bonds issued in 2015 had maturities of over 5 years. The average maturities were 9.68%, 2.14% higher compared to 2014. This resolution has helped the Ministry of Finance sort out the budgets and develop the market and restructure public debts as scheduled by the National Assembly.
The short and medium-term raising of capital, however, causes pressure on public debt. In the future, it is necessary to attract long-term investment from foreign funds into Vietnamese market. This will help create the foundation for the development of capital and the stock markets.
The Vietnam Institute for Economic and Policy Research, or the VEPR, claimed that the exchange rate may vary between 3 and 4% in 2016. Their newly released report also says the State Bank of Vietnam has successfully replaced a fixed rate with a daily reference rate to avoid significant variations. However, the VEPR also forecasted that this year could see potential crises from emerging markets, and the increased interest rates by the U.S. Federal Reserve could see the U.S. dollar strengthen. A consumer support program was launched this morning under the theme My Products, My Rights. The event aims to inform consumers about product quality and their rights to products. Moreover, the participants of this year's event will have the opportunity to learn about product authenticity, origins and services. In addition, the website quyền lợi người tiêu dùng.vn and a Facebook page were launched for the same purpose. Moreover, a consumer support hotline will be available to consumers for appeals, information and consultation. This is the one alongside many consumer support activities such as the Consumer Rights Month, Thanks for Consumers Festival and Hanoi Business for Consumers program. E-commerce has experienced strong growth as the distance between real and the virtual worlds narrow. More than 40% of the world's population are already online, and the figure is set to increase to 50% by 2017, according to the United Nations Broadband Commission. E-commerce has become a trend internationally, but in Vietnam, many problems still remain. Let's find out more.
Tap in buy and sell online as a search term, and more than 1 million results show up with titles like online business and tips to increase your revenue or quality online trading with best prices in the market. For many online business owners, e-commerce has proven to be very beneficial.
As an experienced online business owner, I find that it has brought me many benefits. Firstly, I can save time and money on costs, such as renting a physical store or hiring staff. Secondly, the advertising and PR work is also much easier and faster. Online shopping has many benefits. Firstly, we can save time by not having to travel to buy things. Secondly, a vast range of products are available.
The advantages of online shopping are obvious. However, limitations in Vietnam's legal framework are clear. Issues include circumstances where product quality fails to match the standard depicted in advertising, and consumers not receiving their products despite having paid in advance. Many consumers have lost faith in e-commerce due to such problems.
You can't do much more than to trust the seller, so when something wrong happens, you are not really in a position to complain or call for help.
If consumers aren't well equipped with knowledge related to the payment methods, they will face the risk of being exposed to credit card fraud. From the business sector's perspective, they will face the risks in terms of financial management, which will affect their revenue.
On the positive side, according to some recent statistics, Vietnamese consumer satisfaction regarding online shopping has increased 7.4% compared with last year. Efforts to help boost the volume of sales has been successful thanks to improved transaction security, refunds and exchange policies, and low to free shipping costs.
During the past year, we have had guidelines to increase public awareness about building a healthy business environment so that consumer confidence can increase.
The border between e-commerce and retail is gradually disappearing, and e-commerce together with online business have played an increasingly crucial part in the retail world thanks to widespread use of technology. But sellers still have to create a healthy business environment as they go about cementing greater consumer confidence.
Forbes Vietnam has just unveiled its second 30 under 30 list featuring 30 Vietnamese individuals who stand out in their industries. The list features familiar faces, particularly to young Vietnamese, including Hoàng Minh Nhật, winner of the MasterChef 2014, singer Đông Nhi, and Phạm Kim Hùng, who left Silicon Valley to start up in his home country. The list is meant to recognize the increased emphasis placed on Vietnamese startups. The magazine is published under a licensing agreement between Forbes Media LLC and Interactive Media, an IDG Ventures Vietnam portfolio company. Vietnam will have various advantages in exporting rice this year, though it may have to compete in the global export market when Thailand sells its rice stockpiles on its agriculture future exchange. According to a representative from Vietnam Food Association or the VFA, Thailand are likely to go ahead with the sale in the near future. This will be one factor in dragging world rice prices down and may have a negative impact on Vietnam's rice exports. However, Vietnamese rice still can compete with Thai rice in traditional markets such as China, Indonesia, and the Philippines, because Thailand has a low volume of white rice, while demand is high in these markets. This year, the VFA will focus on boosting exports to near and traditional markets in Asia, including China and Southeast Asia, and increasing exports to fragrant rice to Hong Kong and Singapore. The Mekong Delta will pilot the Sustainable Rice Platform, or the SRP, global rice production criteria in large-scale fields. Farmers and the environment alike should benefit from the application of these new criteria. More in the following.
Farmers are now able to know when to add water into their rice field thanks to simply plugging this tube into the ground. It provides notification when the water level reaches 15 centimeters. This simple practice can save up to 50% of the water used in rice cultivation, while also reducing methane gas emissions. This is also one of the 46 standards required in sustainable rice production.
I think that this technique can help farmers reduce production costs. It also doesn't mean that productivity will be decreased as long as fertilizer, pesticide, and water are properly used.
At a conference which took place yesterday, experts said that farmers needed to believe in their ability to apply an international standard system in production, and they would reap the benefits if they succeeded.
The biggest thing that we need to have is that we need to have farmers that are empowered and that have the knowledge and the skills to start to really change the way they farm, to have the confidence to change.
The new standard system will be piloted by 100 farmers starting in the coming summer-autumn season.
I will pilot the new approach across all my 10 hectares. As a farmer, I'll be delighted if my produce is recognized as being clean and safe.
Many SRP members are major global rice producers. By joining this organization, Vietnam will have a chance to improve the value of its rice on a global level. Once Vietnamese rice achieves SRP standards, it should see a 10 to 20% increase in its price.
The Cham craft village of Bao Chuk in the southern province of Ninh Thuận has improved on the competitiveness of its traditional product through identifying a unique selling point. Let's find out how in the following report.
Looking at these products, you can immediately recognize they are Bao Chuk village products. Craftsmen in Bao Chuk village do not need turnable. They do everything by hand.
We always have to think about creating new designs, as handmade items mean each of our products had a unique beauty.
About 20 households in Bao Chuk still retain the traditional craft of making pottery products. Thousands of products are supplied to the market, bringing about $450 per household per month. Over the past 2 years, about 3,000 Baochuk's pottery products have been exported to the US.
To attract customers, we have to constantly innovate, create new designs, and more importantly, not duplicate our own products.
The village could have wholeheartedly embraced mass production, but local craftsmen have decided they want to rely on their own creativity. They believe their Cham-inspired designs offers a unique marketing point, and this offers an important advantage in promoting Cham pottery in the world market.
And now it's time to catch up with the updates on the foreign exchange rates. Coming up next on VTV News, with the Lunar New Year fast approaching, soldiers and staff working on remote islands are enjoying good wishes and presents from the mainland. Following the severe weather that has gripped the northern provinces of Laogai and Lạng, snow has now blanketed Yên Bái and Hòa Bình for the first time. With the Lunar New Year fast approaching, soldiers and staff working on remote islands are enjoying good wishes and presents from the mainland. The flood of gifts reflects public gratitude for the work done in defending Vietnam's seas and islands. The following report visits the EC to find out how soldiers are preparing for Tết.
It's 8 a.m. Batch after batch of Tết delicacies are being unloaded from a supply vessel. While Tết is traditionally a time for families, for these men, they will be spending the Lunar New Year with their brothers in arms instead.
I feel very homesick when Tết comes. However, celebrating the Lunar New Year with the brothers and sisters in the battalion isn't so bad. It's an honor and privilege to be here guarding our seas and islands. I would like to take this opportunity to wish my family good health and fortune for the new year. Mom and Dad, have faith in me, and I will always be your pride and joy.
For some, it is time to return home, but the memories of working on the islands will remain vividly in their hearts.
I'm delighted to have received my honorable discharge, so I'll be able to see my parents after 2 years. However, I'll also miss the boys so much too. I'll never forget our good times.
Waves of Tết presents are continuing to arrive on remote islands across Vietnam's territorial waters. Not only will they make Happy New Year feasts, but they'll also be motivation for these men and women to stay strong and carry out their duty.
An Binh Island is located 30 kilometers off the coast of the central province of Quảng Ngãi. After years without electricity, locals are now enjoying regular power supplies thanks to a new cable to the mainland. This has helped boost the island's economic development.
A third of An Binh Island's households earn a living through growing onions. Thao's family is one of them. As cultivation depends heavily on rain, the family aren't earning very much.
We often lack water for cultivation, so there's little to harvest.
After An Binh Island received electricity, many business opportunities have developed.
Since we now have electricity, local people on the island also bought bridges and fans to serve tourists.
Local residents have also expressed an interest in developing tourism. They believe it can help to reduce poverty. Located 30 kilometers off the coast of Quảng Ngãi Central Province, An Binh Island now has 150 households with over 500 people mainly living off onions or fishing. The power line to the island will open more opportunities to improve local living standards.
Electricity will help to improve living conditions on An Binh Island. Lisan District Island identified tourism and fishery development as key areas. Hence, An Binh Island is expected to be an attractive destination for tourists in the coming time.
The local authorities expect An Binh Islet to have the ideal conditions to develop its economy and improve local living standards, thanks to the new permanent supply of electricity to the island.
In related news, new trains have been put into operation on the main north-south route to serve the increased number of passengers during Tet holiday. The carriages are more spacious and the cabins boast new blankets, bed sheets and pillows. The train also offers a food and beverage service. The Hanoi Ho Chi Minh City ticket for a 4 soft bed seat is $60, then the lowest price for this trip is $25. In other news, according to the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development's Department of Animal Husbandry, at least 800 buffaloes and cows have died due to the extremely cold weather. Agriculture in many northern provinces has been severely affected. The department has issued instructions to local residents on how to protect their livestock against the cold weather. The department have requested the provincial departments of agriculture and rural development to ensure farmers are better informed about the weather. The department also asked localities to use state budget funding to purchase tools and devices to assist farmers. Following the severe weather that has gripped the northern provinces of Laogai and Lạng, snow has now blanketed Yên Bai and Hòa Bình for the first time. While tourists have reveled in this unexpected weather, locals have borne the brunt of the cold, affecting agriculture and livestock.
The only road that leads to Hang Kia village is dangerously unusual due to ice. As a result, these local people have to find another way back home. People's lives have been seriously affected by the icy conditions. Kha Alu lost 2 goats in just one night as temperatures dramatically plunged.
Some of my goats have died in the forest because the weather was too cold. This is the first time I've ever seen snow. Normally, the lowest temperatures range around 8 to 10 Celsius degrees. However, the current temperatures are the lowest for 40 years at -1.
Local people in Hòa Bình are eagerly waiting for the weather to break as they cope with shut down schools, severed transport links, halted production and threats to their livestock.
Cold weather accompanied by snow in many mountainous areas has affected regional transport links and agriculture. In Sapa, one of the country's coldest areas, 1,000 hectares of winter crops have been damaged and 80 cattle have died. The following report has more details.
Ta Van commune in Sapa has been most heavily damaged, with 250 hectares of vegetable fields were covered by snow. This area is mainly home to Red Zao and Hmong ethnic people whose life is mainly based on terrace cultivation.
Our field of crops was completely destroyed. We are about to harvest next month, but the cold has ruined everything. Cold weather killed one of my cattle.
Cardamom fields, one of the most highly valued trees of the region, are also covered by snow. So far, the extreme cold has killed 80 cattle in Sapa district. Regional agencies are continuing to check for damage in order to implement the correct support measures.
After this cold period, we may see the forest damaged as snow breaks the tree branches and makes leaves fall from trees.
Many villagers have brought dead cattle to sell in order to make money on the meat. The true number of dead livestock has yet to ascertain. Sapa is experiencing the coldest weather so far, with the lowest temperature of around -4 Celsius degree.
And now let's take a look at the weather updates for cities and provinces in Vietnam and other countries. And that's all we have for this live edition of VTV News. Thank you very much for being with us. For more news and updates, please log on to vtv4.vn or youtube.com/VTV4Go. Goodbye for now.